Hello, my name is Julie Barrett, and this is my Module 13 Emergent Literacy Activity Center Plan for Kindergartners. This is for my class EDU-280A, the in-person lab. We were asked to create activities. I chose to do 3 to promote literacy skills in kindergartners. I specifically chose for my activities to gear them towards kindergartners just entering kindergarten, so younger ones. These would be activities that wouldn't necessarily be geared to children in their later time at kindergarten. So I'll show you them, and then I'll go over some of the NC-FEL goals and specific design supports that I created for them. So we're going to turn around. So these are the 3 activities that I made. And even though I set them up on a towel sort of to make it look attractive, this is simply what I had around my house to use. This isn't exactly how I would have done it if it was in a classroom, but these are the tools that I had available. So the first activity is to promote the awareness of the initial sounds of objects, the names of an object, and the initial sound that starts with them. So here we have a cup, so C, cup, K, a duck, a jar, mushroom, button, rock, and a piece of paper. And so what would happen is the child would take one of the cards out, and they would see an uppercase and lowercase letter, and then they would pair it with the object it starts with, so D for duck. A way to tweak this or make a modification would be to not have the letter here, but instead the word, so a word duck, to help create that association as they're writing, since they are in kindergarten. Certainly more complicated objects could be used. Mushroom is a longer word, so you could add more or less. This could have a lot of variations for sure, but this is the basic idea. And this is a tray that I had, so I might use this in an actual classroom, I might not. Over here we have a tray which has a black piece of paper under it to help the flower stand out. And what you would do is you would choose a word. In this case I have cup, and then the child would trace it with their finger in the flower. And of course different words could be used. I did happen to use the same words that correspond to the objects on this tray, but different words that are worked on throughout the year could be used. And there are many variations of this. You could use shaving cream, you could add glitter to add a little bit more variation to this. So there are different variations, but it's a very strong sensorial activity. And then over here, the third activity is a little bit similar to this one. It has a card you would choose, and then of course the letter B, upper and lowercase, and then you would take the gems and you would form them, and then you could go through all the letters. I provided 7 there, and they correspond to the objects, but there are 7 of them, and they would be forming the letters. So over here we have the phonemic sound awareness, the initial sounds of D for duck, D, duck, as well as visually seeing it. We have early writing skills here, as well as, of course, sounding it out, K, P. And then the formation of letters for early writing skills in a hands-on 3D activity sort of way. And of course, the sounds can be made as well when you see B, B, like in bear. So those are the activities. I'm going to turn this around. Let's see, there we go. So those are the 3 activities that I came up with. Something that the guide for the for this assignment asked us was the literacy skills the center is designed to support, and I chose early writing skills and phonological awareness. My specific literary focus was phonics, so seeing the word or the letter, and then of course the sound d, lichen, duck. And then also having the opportunity, like with the sand or the flower, to write it out. How the activity would engage children, for that question I answered with through hands-on. All the activities are hands-on, they're sensorial experiences, and they utilize materials such as flour, bright, attractive glass beads, colorful letter cards, and interesting objects that children would find engaging and be drawn towards. My NC Feld goals would be goal LDC 14, children use knowledge of letters in their attempts to write, and goal LDC 11, children develop phonological awareness. Strategies for writing that I included, NC Feld has strategies. The oldest they go is for preschoolers, but I did still include them. So even though these are for preschoolers, so a strategy would be use unlined paper for children's writing, so they will focus on letter formation instead of letter orientation. And even though I don't have paper in this, I do have the glass beads and the flower to use. And that was a strategy for writing. A strategy they have for preschoolers, again, but for reading, was 14, includes strategy for promoting phonological awareness, print and alphabet knowledge within daily conversation, activities, that's what I have, and routines. So these 3 activities promote that. So thank you so much. These are my activities for my EDU-280A assignment. I hope you enjoyed them.